Well, fellas, we did it. We made it to the PlayStation Showcase 2023. I don't know. Look, I want to say something before I go through all the titles very briefly. Every single one of these titles, and I'm not being facetious, I'm not trying to hedge my bets or anything, but every single one of these titles at a play level could very well be Game of the Year, or at least my own personal Game of the Year. A lot of times gameplay doesn't come across in trailers, clearly, like the Final Fantasy 16 trailer that we'll see in a second. And the other thing is that, you know, sometimes the whole package has to come together. Like it could be that the Spider-Man cutscenes and music and performances and the gameplay being relatively traditional but merged in with sort of a great sense of adventure. All, you know, there's a gajillion things. So I just want to be clear, all I'm judging, all I'm commenting on are the trailers and how they make me feel as someone who has a lot of experience, just like you do, watching trailers and sort of extrapolating, is this something you want to play, and how hyped you are, and the value of putting these trailers in this showcase. Okay, so that's the caveat. Overall, I thought it was just a terrible showcase. It doesn't mean that the games, and I'm only going to say this one more time because I don't want to keep saying it every video that comes up, just assume it's a blanket statement, but it doesn't mean that every game is a disappointment. They could all be great games, but in terms of what I was hoping, not what Sony needed to do, Sony didn't need to even have this conference, given their dominant position right now and Xbox being incredibly weak in terms of perception and sales as well. But I mean, there was an expectation, I think, that was set, whether intentionally or not, that finally, after 2 years of kind of nothing in regards to a showcase, we were going to have a really big event of really cool things we hadn't heard of and really cool reveals of things we had heard of but had made a lot of progress, and it just wasn't that. And that's real disappointing. The showcase was shit. Terrible showcase. Should they have done it? Should they not have done it? I don't think it's going to hurt them. I think the only way this is going to hurt them is if Xbox Showcase, and I doubt it, is crackerjack like a motherfucker, and you're just like, holy shit, man, that Xbox is, you know, everybody's talking about these 6 games coming out in the next 6 months, and there's an amazing Shadow drop that just dropped on the Xbox Day and all that. Okay, then maybe Sony needed to have this be better, because the future roadmap of Sony is only bright because you know the talent they have working. But if you were to kind of never have played PlayStation and this was your first introduction to what's on PlayStation, I don't think you'd say, oh my fucking God, I gotta have one of those. I think after this conference, and assuming Xbox doesn't deliver the goods in a couple weeks, I think if you're on the fence between Xbox, PS5 and a PC, I understand that that's a really expensive fence, but just assuming if you're trying to figure out where you want to spend your ducats, I mean, I'd go PC at this point if you have the funds. But at the same time, I mean, we know Sony. I mean, think about this though. I was talking to Ricardo, who's producing the show today, and he's like, you know, it's been 3 years since Naughty Dog, since Tsushima. You know, a couple of these studios, like 3 or 4 of these studios he mentioned, have had 3-year gaps between now and when their last game came out. The fact that we haven't seen anything, the fact that these studios are not yet ready to show anything, that certainly is an interesting question that comes up as to why. But let's get into the show. Let's take a look at it, and let's break it down. That's really weird. It's the PlayStation Showcase officially from PlayStation, and the game that they have as the YouTube game they think they're talking about is Ori and the Blind Forest. So somebody should fix that. That doesn't matter. But anyway, so the first game up was Jade Raymond's game from her recently acquired Haven Studio. Clearly, they must be onto something great. Why would you buy a studio before the game even shipped? But from the trailer, I thought the trailer was really shit. It looks like Watch Dogs, you know, meets Payday. Is what some people in the chat said today earlier, and I think they're absolutely right. It just looks like a generic PvE, PvP heist game, very much like Hyenas right now from Sega. The difference is at least that game is set in outer space, so you have zero G and all kinds of crazy environments and stuff. And I get it. I've been saying that I think Sony needs to have some bread and butter titles and not such artsy-fartsy stuff only, especially with these service games. And I get it, but this doesn't feel like it has any of the Sony magic. Like, it needs 5%, 10% of that kind of a twist, something interesting, something compelling that you go, oh my God, that's fucking awesome. And I know this is early, but I don't know what they hope to get out of this. I mean, were they really hoping somebody would watch this and go, fucking cool, man, that's fucking cool? I mean, it's just so generic. It's so typical. It's so benign. There's no juice, baby. I didn't care for it. Maybe the game will be... I'm not even going to say it. I'm going to stop saying that. All these, maybe the games will be great. But as a trailer, this was stupid. This was a bad way to open the show. I'm not a fan. What was this? This was Helldivers 2, which is a totally different perspective. It's over the shoulder. I'm so fucking tired of this sort of, we're corporate and we're, you know, everything's great and it's all sarcastic and it's just like, oh, it's so played out. It's just so gross. I'm so sick of it. But the game itself looks super generic. Again, none of these feel like Sony games. I get that Helldivers is a beloved niche game and I'm sure this, you know, there's no reason to think that the team won't deliver something great and something fun. But if you just look at it as a trailer, this would be one of those things that you would see at like Keighley's Game Awards or Summer Game Fest, and you would forget about it almost the second you saw it. Like, there's nothing to it. It's just like, okay, it's a PvE co-op looter shooter fucking thing. It's again, it's two trailers in a row. Both were like, eh. I mean, these are your service games. You know, one could look at service games and go, well, dude, they're going to be free. They're going to be on PC and they're going to be on PS5. Everyone's going to try them for the most part because Sony will promote them and they'll be free. So maybe they were like, look, we could spend 4 months ideating and trying to come up with something brilliantly conceptual, but maybe, you know, one could argue it is a sound philosophy, whether it's this game or the Ramond game. Tells you how bad the game is titled. I don't even remember the Fair Play or whatever the fuck it's called, the one we just saw. But maybe they're just like, look, let's spend the time on the gameplay because people are going to try it. It doesn't really matter. Look at Destiny, look at Fortnite, look at PUBG. None of these games are conceptually strong at a IP level. They become beloved because the games are great. So, you know, one could argue that's a solid development philosophy, and maybe that's what's going on here, because both of these back-to-back were just terribly just generic crap in terms of the IPs as they stand by themselves. This is the game from EA, I don't know what it's called, it's something. It's the fucking Doctor Strange, Tokyo Ghostwire thing. People who have seen it say it's great. I'm down, whatever. I mean, it looks fine. There's nothing special about it, and this is not a Sony thing. This is coming out on all the platforms, but I could see really enjoying playing it. But I don't know, I think there's something going on where the production value is the star, which is fine. People love that. But the design of the worlds are just so samey these days. The characters, the monsters, the color, everything just visually looks like, all right, I've seen this a million times. So the game could be great. I'm looking forward to it because people say who've played it, it's great. But as a piece of intellectual property, it's totally forgettable, empty calories. I don't give a fuck about this game right now. But I mean, because why would you? What are you looking at that you're seeing that you're like, oh my God, I got to play that? Why? I'm not saying don't play it. I'm not knocking the game, but it's just generic. It's like it's every other fucking first-person shooter. What does this have to do with anything that you would say, oh my God, I can't wait? It's just, you know, been there, done that. This is Ghostrunner 2. This one's weird because I love the IP of Ghostrunner. I love the look of Ghostrunner, the first one, but it was not a very good game. It was very much die, repeat, die, repeat, die, repeat. And it never really felt like the trailers that feel like you're on this cool cyber ninja adventure, which I love. It felt more like, you know, you're learning the moves of a dance, and then when you do it, you can get out of the level and go to the next dance. And I just thought that was really dull and boring. You know, if you look at this trailer, if the game feels like the trailer, I'm super interested in this game. But if it just feels like it's more levels with a couple of bike levels or variety levels from the first Ghostrunner, I'm out. Not interested at all. I'm super interested in this. Super interested. This is the Phantom Blade or something. This, you know, it could just be another Souls game, of which, you know, there's a lot of them. But even then, I really like the moves, the acrobatic aspects where you're engaging with the environment. I love this where you're fighting on the cart while it's moving. It feels a little bit more conceptually strong in terms of what you're doing than just, you know, something like, what is the one that just came out from, it was on Game Pass day one. It wasn't low. I get all these fucking titles mixed up. There's whatever. The point is, this looks pretty fun. Somebody told me it was from a mobile game, and then they've gone to Unreal 5 and they've put it on PS5 and they've really, you know, pulled out all the stops, but it looks great. I mean, it looks like a lot of fun. Nothing that unique, but I do like the engagement with the environment. I love the moves. He looks like a real cool, badass character, and he does a lot of cool shit. I'm totally in. I'm excited for this. This looks, was probably if not the one of the best things I saw today. This is Giant Squid's new game. They're a great developer. I'm sure it'll be a great game. Looks like Tony Hawk meets Journey. nothing good or bad to say about it. There's nothing about this trailer that gets me interested. If it comes out, if it's either a slow period or if it's on Game Pass or PS Plus, I'll give it a try. Or if the reviews are, you know, insanely great. But, you know, I mean, really, I mean, what did they expect? I don't understand trailers anymore like this. I just like, you know, you're not showing any. I mean, that's the thing. You're not showing. Here, I got to pause for a minute. So a couple of weeks ago, when they, well, it's probably a month now, when they put out, when Nintendo put out the Tears of the Kingdom first trailer with the producer playing and starting to show all of Link's abilities, whether it was Ascend or Underhand or whatever it's called, over the thing where you know, can build shit, or fuse. That was the first time in a long time I saw a trailer that was not only focused on the gameplay, but it was really interesting and fresh and new gameplay. That got me interested. And lo and behold, the game ended up being great. A lot of these trailers, here's a great example. You're just like, okay. I mean, what do you, seriously, what is the developer hoping I'm going to take from this? It's not a graphical showcase. Like, you've seen games that look prettier than this, so that's not what this is about. You know, you've seen these kind of ethereal, artistic, minimalist kind of environments ad nauseum in games, so they can't be thinking they're going to get any real excitement built on that. There's no, not that there has to be enemies, but there's no sense of the conflict, you know. So what is it that they think, like, what did they want this trailer to do? I mean, there's just no juice to it. You're just like, all right, I guess it was a trailer. Moving on. That's how I feel about this game and a number of games today at the showcase. Talos Principal 2, I don't care. I'm not saying it's bad. I've never played the first one. People who played the first one say it's great. So if you enjoyed it, here you go. But I really can't comment on this. I hear it's like a puzzle game. I'm kind of over puzzle games like this, but maybe I should try it. We'll see. But Talos Principal 2, there you go. This is from the guys or the team that made GRIS, I don't fucking know. The thing with the lady with the triangle thing, whatever. Beautiful game. This reminds me of the one we just saw from Giant, Squid or Spare. It's Giant, I don't fucking know. The one that was like Journey in the skateboard. It's just another one of those like, ooh, it's beautiful and artistic. And again, I'm not mocking that shit. I love games like that when they work. But I'm just like, okay. I mean, it's just very... I've seen this a million times, and it could be a great fucking game, but as a trailer, and as a trailer that has a slot at a showcase, where they're trying to get people, I assume, excited about the hardware, this is just kind of like, okay, you know, let me know when it's out. If it gets good reviews, I'll play it. It's one of those games, which is fine, but again, it just makes you wonder if you're the developer, the marketing people, it's like, there's a better way to get people excited for this game, and this isn't it. This is not it. This game, this is CATQUEST. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it looks fun, right? I mean, there's nothing special about it, but I'm like, all right, I'd fucking play that. It looks like I don't know if it's a kid's game or what, but it looks like a fun little, you know, run around, beat shit up, and have nice little sounds going off and collecting coins and shit. I'm like, all right. And it's cute graphic style and pirates. How can you not love pirates? Pirate cats. Come on now. I'm in. This thing, Scrubbing Bubbles soap game. We had at Bartlett Jones, we were talking to Sony about doing a Splatoon for Sony, which was done with slime and stuff. So, I mean, look, unless you have a Switch, you haven't played Splatoon for the most part, and it's a good mechanic. It's fun. I think this is fun. It looks cool. You know, it's bizarre. The title of it is bizarre. And it may just be another one of those, you know, games that you play for about a day and never come back to, like Knockout City or whatever. I know some people loved it, but in terms of ultimately long-term, you know, success, we'll have to see. But, you know, this is one of the most, I mean, it's not original because it's basically Splatoon, but conceptually and thematically and visually, it's got a really fun, kind of cool look to it. And, you know, the characters are fine. And, you know, this is something that you would think would have been one of Sony's first-party service games, because at least it has a little bit of, it's still commercial. It's still, you know what it is right away by looking at it, but it still has a little bit of heart to it, unlike, you know, the opening game, the heist game. So yeah, I'm down. This is cool. I'll definitely try it if it's free. But if they want money for this right out the gate, they better fucking put a demo out. But yeah, it's cool, man. I'm in. I enjoyed this one. Okay, so it's FOAMSTARS, Jet Moto. That's when I learned the title doesn't matter. FOAMSTARS is a stupid title, but if the game works, it'll catch on and people will love the title. Just like Jet Moto makes no sense. Fortnite makes sense, but it doesn't make any fucking sense. PUBG, come on now. This is that plucky SQUIRE from Devolver. I've seen this now for over a year. I am as excited about it today as I was when I first saw it, which is to say I'm quite excited. It looks really fun. It looks cute. Devolver is a great publisher. There's a lot of imagination on display here. I'm in. I'm super fucking in. This, again, is one of the... You know, it's not a Sony exclusive or anything like that. It wouldn't surprise me if it goes Game Pass day one. I hope it does. Or PS Plus. It looks great. You know, it's there's nothing that's insanely inventive about the mechanics or the gameplay, but you know, the world and the tone and the art style and the going from 3D to 2D, kind of like link between worlds and stuff. I'm like, all right, I'm definitely you know, between that and the publisher having a great pedigree. I'm super fucking interested in this game. So this was another one of my favorites that they showed today. All right, let me just tell you guys something. This game coming up is Teardown. I played this a lot on the PC. It is excellent. This is the console port. It's coming to Xbox, coming to PlayStation. It's delightfully awesome. It's another heist game, but you can totally destroy and adjust the environment and the vehicles, and you can do whatever the fuck you want. And there's a whole sandbox element to it, which is great, but the coolest part is when you are trying to pull off these heists and you have to basically figure out how to get to the escape car before the cops show up, and you have to destroy or adjust the environment in order to do it. So it's like this crazy fucking adventure puzzle action thing. It's just excellent. It should have done better on PC. It should have had more people talking about it. I'm glad it's going to get another shot on console. This is Teardown, and I mean, I've already played it, and I look forward to playing it again with all the new additions and stuff, because there's been a lot of things they've added since I last played it. But you know, what a great fucking game. I'm glad more people are going to get to see this. This is Teardown, again, one of my favorite things I saw today. So here was Metal Gear, right? I didn't know what the fuck I was looking at. I don't think anybody did. Maybe some people knew what they were getting into with these images, but cool. I'm in. My understanding is, if you read the note from the developers they put out today, this is going to be it's a remake, but it's not as severe of a remake as like, you know, Blue Point's Demon Souls or RE4 that just came out. It's getting mostly a graphical update. They're rebuilding sections and probably cutscenes. I don't know if they're going to redo the audio and bring Hader back. Well, Hader was here. If they're going to use Hader, they're going to use Kiefer Sutherland. I don't know. They're adjusting gameplay a little bit, but it sounds, from their just reading between the lines, it sounds more like it's kind of a quality of life adjustment. Versus like, oh, let's add 3 new bosses and add a whole new section. It sounds more like it's, you know, if you've played this game before, there's an inventory where you're eating, and, you know, there's a lot of things you have to do. It's like there's some survival aspects to this game. I imagine they're making that interface a lot easier and quicker and more intuitive. That's what I think they mean. I don't think they're actually going to be changing much design other than that. But it's cool, man. I never finished this game. I really enjoyed it. A lot of people say it's the best one in the series. Metal Gear Solid 3, which is basically Delta Snake Eater, is coming out. And then they're also announced this is coming out in 2024. And then they announced in 2023 in the fall they're going to be putting out 1, 2, 3. Going to be putting out 1, 2, 3. You know, kind of up-resed, I guess, somewhat, a little bit. Again, it's weird. Metal Gear 1 looks kind of, you know, like it's not gotten an up-res job. And Metal Gear 3, I saw some screen grabs, and it looks maybe it was touched up a little. I don't fucking know. I don't know what level these are at, but if you haven't played them, certainly 1 and 2, it's a good chance to play them. But the one that excites me the most is the remake, which is coming in 2024. But I will say I'm not like overwhelmed and super hyped. I'm like, okay, we knew this was coming. I kind of wish if we would have seen only one thing from Konami, we would have seen Castlevania, which is rumored, certainly Silent Hill 2 that we know about. You know, we don't really know who the developer is of this game. Not that it matters, but it's not like, you know, we need some visionary behind it, because it sounds like they're just doing a lift of what the game already was and just making some tweaks. So, I mean, it's fine, but I'm not jumping out of my fucking skin to play this thing. Maybe if it does incredibly well, though, Konami will go, oh, we should put some more Metal Gears into production. Maybe not, though. Without Kojima, you know, who knows? Anyway, you know, some people really like this game. This kind of looked like been there, done that. It's like Avatar, Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Somebody on the chat today was saying it was more to them like Shadow of the Colossus. It's fine. It could be great. Again, that's the caveat, right? But it's just Tower of AGHASBA. There's not a lot you can say about it, right? It's kind of cool looking, but we've seen that art style before. Is the whole thing flying? If it is or isn't, it's weird they chose that to only show that. Like, wow, you're really focused on being in the air, which doesn't look terribly fun. It doesn't look bad, but it's like, it's just like a floating game. What is this? I'm sure it's more than that, but you know what I'm saying. My jury's still out on that one. Let's just say that. I didn't know what this game was. This is Final Fantasy 16. When I saw this earlier today, oh, actually, no. So this is Assassin's Creed, was it Visage, or I don't fucking know what they're called. Mirage, I don't know. Whatever. I'm actually excited only because it seems like they're, oh, no, see, it's not. It's not. This is Final Fantasy 16. That's what I thought. It's kind of the point. I saw this earlier today, so let's go back to what I was saying. I saw this when it came on, and I was like, at first I thought this was just some generic sword and sorcery bullshit. Or is this Dragons? No, that's Capcom. This is Final Fantasy, right? That's my point. You know, I have read the previews for the new Final Fantasy. I'm excited because of those previews, other than the opening that I hear is really, really slow. I'm super jazzed. The combat looks like fun. I love that they're basing it, at least to some extent, off some God of War gameplay, which is, they've said. I'm in. I'm super excited about this one. I haven't been excited about a Final Fantasy game in ages. But just coming in not knowing it was Final Fantasy, it just looked like a generic trailer that you would see, and it would kind of come in your brain and leave your brain, and you wouldn't think about it again unless it came out and got great reviews. So sure, if you're excited about the game already, you know, I am actually, but I don't know, if you know the lore and you know who these characters are because you've been following it in a serious way or paying attention to it, maybe you're excited. But just looking at it without that baggage, the positive baggage, it just kind of looks like generic fantasy game number 12. So it didn't do much for me. Alan Wake 2, cool, I'm in. I heard they're doing it digital only. They can bring the price down. They should bring it down more, but it's going to be $10 less. I buy all my shit digital, so I don't really have an opinion. Obviously, more and more stuff will be going that way. Hell, most games are only digital if you play on PC, but a game of this size, I guess it is somewhat newsworthy that they're putting it out without any physical version, which I know will be annoying to some collectors and stuff, but as a game, it looks fun. It looks like I've been here, done this, played this game a million times, but I like games like this. I like horror games. The story looks interesting. The production value looks great. Great developer, great publisher. You know, what's not to love? Will it be the most innovative game in the world? Probably not, but that's okay. You know, if it delivers a fun third-person horror, it looks pretty cool. Some of the monsters pretty cool. I'm glad you're doing more than just fighting shadow monsters this time. Those enemies there look pretty fucking awesome. So I'm super in. To Alan Wake. Oh, and it's coming, it's not soon, but it's coming Halloween time. Excellent. All right, so now we get to Assassin's Creed, whatever it's called. I'm curious about this one, only because I know that Ubisoft has said they are going to try to take down the bloat of the last couple of Assassin's Creeds, and I don't know if getting back to basics is necessarily the right or the best thing, but getting back to something that is more focused and streamlined, I'm very curious to, play a Assassin's Creed game with that philosophy. So I'm interested in it because of that, and it looks cool. It's kind of nice to see where they're focusing on the moment-to-moment gameplay instead of this massive world and stuff. This really does seem like it is back to basics, and nothing special, but at least from the trailer, but it's kind of cool. I definitely will play it. I'm excited to see it. Look at him go. I don't think we'll ever see the Prince of Persia remake. I mean, that thing's in trouble from what we hear, but this is almost good. This is almost as good. This is pretty fucking cool. Yeah, I like this. I'm surprised. How long has it been since I've been jazzed by an Assassin's Creed game? But I don't remember the Valhalla trailer, but I would imagine if you compare Valhalla or Odyssey to this, the trailers, my guess would be that they really didn't have this much focus on gameplay. It was much more the world and the exploring and the crafting or whatever, all that shit. So this is nice. If the game reflects the leanness and focus of this trailer, I think it could be something really, really cool coming out. So I'm excited. Here's a game with a cat running around. Okay. I mean, okay, I mean, that was cool. I didn't notice that the first time I saw it. I don't know what this fucking game is, but did you see that, like, in the background where they had, the cats running? around and there's like this protest happening in the background. The authorities pull out their guns and shit. I'm like, okay, maybe there's, I mean, maybe there is something interesting about this, but it's so abstract and it's so not visually abstract, but like, what are you doing? It's so confusing what it is that I think, you know, I don't know what they expected out of this trailer other than to say, hey, we're working on a game. It's like, cool. So here it is. See the cops. So I'll keep an eye on it. It looks conceptually potentially interesting, but who the fuck knows what the hell this thing is? No, certainly not me. What is this thing even called? Revenant Hill. Rise Together. Don't forget that part. This game looks really fucking good visually. I don't know what the game is. I know it looks like an action RPG. It may be one of those Genshin Impact style games, like a gacha game or whatever, or it may be a traditional. I mean, I'm sure you can find out. I haven't done any research. I just saw this trailer and was like, whoa, that fucking looks really good visually. And I like action RPGs, so, you know, it's semi on my radar, but look at that. It looks really cool. It reminds me of when we first saw the PlayStation 1 video from the Japanese hardware division before PS1 came out, and they were like, this is what RPGs could look like on PlayStation. And it was a little less than this, but it was like, whoa, you know. And to actually be at a point where we're getting that is pretty exciting. But I don't know what the fuck this is other than a game that looks great with a horrible fucking title. What the fuck is this thing even called? GRANBLUE Fantasy Relink. That's just the worst. The worst. Street Fighter, I'm in. What do you want from me? I played a couple of the betas. I love it. I've never been a big Street Fighter guy, but the new control schemes, especially the second one, modern controls, and all the other stuff you can do in the game has really made me a believer. I love the kind of gimmicky levels or the gimmicky settings. I love the new characters, a lot of them that I got to play this weekend. Yeah, I'm super fucking down for this. I'm excited. Street Fighter 6, whatever. I mean, we knew this was coming. And it's great. Looks great. And it plays great, too. I don't know what the fuck this is, but I want it. For no other reason than the art style looks like a DMT trip. From what I understand. I haven't done DMT yet, but I want to. I just don't have any. But I don't know what the game is. Maybe it sucks, but the animation's like, eh. But look at the world. I want to be in the world. What is this? I want to be in the world to experience somebody who thinks this way and a team that thinks this way. Because even if the game sucks, I'm sure there's a lot of really interesting, you know, conceptual aspects about this. Like, what is this fucking thing about? I'm super fucking in on this. I'm excited for this. What is this thing called? Let's see. Oh, look at that. Look at that fucking thing. Come on now. Oh, that's awesome. This is called ULTROS. And I don't know when it's coming out. Will it tell us? I guess we don't get to know. Well, maybe. Maybe. Come on now. When you coming out? 2024. All right. I'm interested. Curious. I don't know what the fuck this is. What is this? Isn't this like this is another gacha thing, I think? I don't know what this is. At first I was like, oh, is this Stellar Blade? Nope. I don't know what this is. I have no real response to this. It looks cool. I remember seeing it today and going, oh, it looks really cool, like this stuff. But I don't really know what, you know, again, I haven't really played Genshin Impact. People love it. Maybe I should try it. I believe this is one of those kind of games. It definitely has a great style. It's cool. It's pretty fucking cool visually and conceptually. I don't know if I'd be into the gameplay, but that's neat. It's neat to see. I'm sure this is going to be everywhere. It's not a PlayStation exclusive, but it's very pretty. Very, very pretty. I want to put it in a dress and go on a date with it. Come on now. Shh. Let's be serious and professional. Shut up. Cool, man. Looks great. Looks great. Oh my God, that's awesome. Tower of Fantasy. Again, I have a feeling it's one of those games I'm not going to like because it's going to be a bunch of fucking, you know, MMO collecting and paying for power and all that shit, but we'll see. What is this? What was this game? Oh, Dragon Dogma 2. Whatever. I mean, I will play it. I never played the first one. Everybody raves about it. I'm excited to try this one. So I'm surprised that they actually made a sequel. I don't know if the first one ever did that well, but it certainly is a cult hit, and these days Capcom can do no fucking wrong. So I'm in. This is cool. Dragon's Dogma 2. I think it's open world, right? Fucking cool. I'm made a lot of people happy, I'm sure. I don't think it's exclusive, again. I think it's going to be everywhere, but, you know, it's cool. I don't think Capcom really does much exclusives anymore, do they? Did they ever? Well, they certainly haven't done as much as they used to. Even timed exclusives. But, yeah, Dragon Dog, I'm interested. I'm in. You know, Five Nights at Freddy's, whatever. Somebody in the chat, somebody in the comments was like, people shit on this because it's popular. I'm not shitting on it. I'm just like, you know, it's of a different generation. Younger people have an affection for this. I appreciate that. I respect that. But when I was first introduced to this game, it was like you just jumped around computer monitors or closed circuit TV monitors, and that was the gameplay. And I'm sure it's gotten a hell of a lot more evolved, but it's just, yeah, it's not for me. But, you know, if you're into this, you know, and the movie trailer just came out too, which I haven't seen, but it looks very, you know, faithful. So Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted is the title and is coming out pretty soon. Help Wanted 2. There you go. All right, this is all the PSVR 2 stuff. This RE4 remake in VR looks great. I'm sure it's great. I played RE4 in VR on the MetaQuest, obviously not the remake, and it looked nothing like this. This looks beautiful. Certainly not enough to make me want to go buy a PSVR, but if I had one, PSVR 2, if I had one, I would certainly buy it, although I'm really tired of playing RE4. I've played it now like 4 times, but what a game. That's probably my game of the year right now, so certainly I'd probably play it again if I had a PSVR 2. The other VR stuff they showed, a little less interesting. This was just Arizona Sunshine. It's kind of like it's like a horde shooter, you know, and it's real gory and fine, but it's, you know, I find it very dull. You know, gets boring pretty quick, so this didn't do anything for me. Looks nice though. I mean, certainly the gore is pretty good. Kind of seems like maybe it rivals a little bit of Dead Island 2. But yeah, it's got you know, if that's real time, which I think it is, I don't know, maybe it's not. I don't know, it probably is. Yeah, it looks fun, but it looks after about 10 minutes you're moving on. I wouldn't want to play this for more than 10 minutes. Just if it's like the last one, which wasn't really much to it in terms of it was like a shooting gallery, really. Smilegate, oh god, another CROSSFIRE game. I don't care. Fuck this. Here's your SOCOM, right? I don't care. These are so hit or miss. Maybe it'll be great, but certainly from this trailer, I'm just like, okay, whatever, moving on. What was this? What was this game? PSVR 2, you have to go kill somebody, you're trying to assassinate somebody. What is this? Yeah, whatever. I don't even remember what this is. It could be cool. I mean, maybe there's a really cool trippy story. It looks like there might be. But I'm tired of these games. It's like, wow, it's very generic, mechanically speaking. Oh, wow, you mean you can move objects around and hurt people with them and they ragdoll? Jesus Christ, welcome to 15 years ago. Yeah, this looks generic as fuck. No thank you. Not interested. Could be great, though. Could be great. But, again, basing it off the trailer, you know, been there, done that many, many times. Synapse. Sameh. Beat Saber, whatever. But, hey, Queen, baby. Come on, this is the Queen pack. Love Queen, and I have this on my MetaQuest, and I will certainly be picking up the Queen music if it's not exclusive to PlayStation, because that's fucking awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's fucking great. But, I mean, you know, come on, it's just a music pack. But it's Queen. What is this again? This is Monolith. Is that what it's called? Marathon from Bungie. I played this on the Macintosh originally. Obviously, this is totally not that. It seems to be Marathon in name only. I'm sure maybe some of the lore is intact, but Marathon was just kind of like a shooter, first-person shooter, where you had a lot of shit you collected. I don't remember if it was multiplayer or not, like co-op, but this I hear is like an extraction service-based game. It's going to be on everything, including Xbox. So it's Sony publishes it and pays for it because they own Bungie, but it's not an exclusive. But I mean, the trailer looks nice. The colors are cool. So you know, there's not much to say about it. I'll give it a shot when it's out. But you know, as trailers go, it's pretty. It's got a really cool art style. What else? I mean, seriously, what else are you showing me? It's like, oh, look, another fucking shooter. Okay. How many fucking games? How many fucking times do these developers think people are going to keep? I mean, I guess until they stop. But I'm like, my God, man, this game exists already, at least from what we know based on the trailer. If it's got a lot of sexy juice to it, awesome. But that ain't what the trailer gave us. Here's some Bungie Destiny stuff. People love Destiny, which is great. I'm happy for them. I've never really gotten into it, so I have no opinion on this other than people have been saying Destiny 2 has been really good. So hopefully this will continue the trend, and certainly looks cool as a CG trailer goes, but I don't really have any emotional or conceptual or intellectual response to this because it's really out of my world. This to me is like that Warframe series. I just don't play it, but I know a lot of people adore it. So if you are one of them, you let me know what you think, because I couldn't tell you. It's cool looking. This was the new game by Firewalk. I think it's a first-person shooter. Concord, whatever. What a stupid trailer. What a dumb trailer. Why even show it? Why even show it? At least with the Haven game, the Jade Ramond game, you're like, okay, I kind of can extrapolate from this what kind of game this is. This is like, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. This is terrible. What a dumb reveal trailer. What a stupid fucking reveal trailer. Why, I mean, seriously, why even spend the money to render all that shit out? Just go back to work, make the game. It's goofy. It's fucking stupid. Not the game, but just the execution of that trailer. Then they showed this. I don't know why. The trailer looks great. I'm excited to see Gran Turismo. I don't know why this was part of their presentation. I mean, obviously marketing, but whatever. And then we get Jimbo back, and he's talking about the new Project Q. This is so stupid. From what I understand, it's stupid. My understanding is it's remote play, right? Like you had on your Vita. So if you have a PS5 and you have a game installed, you can start the game whether you're using Project Q or not, or you can start it here locally on this hardware, and it'll send, the stream to this. And I can already do that on my phone, I believe, with remote play. So I don't really understand this. Maybe it does a lot more, or maybe I'm just being dense and I don't understand what it's special. But from what they showed and the way he explained it, this is dead on arrival. Who is this for? It's not like you can go out on vacation and take your PS5 games with you, because you'd still have to deal with the fact that your PS5 is your server thousands of miles away. How is that going to play well? It's not like, with Game Pass where, there's many server farms close to you, at least in a lot of cases. And then there's some headphones, whatever, who cares? And then Spider-Man, this was relatively disappointing. I think it's going to be great. Insomniac is fantastic. I love the Spider-Man franchise. I love Miles. Miles Morales is my favorite superhero game of all time. So I'm here day one for sure. And I love Kraven and Lizard, and, it looks like Black Cat's in this one again. She was in the DLC. And I do like the switching between the characters. It looks like it's really fucking fast. And I think there's a lot of interesting design things that you could do with that, you don't see represented here, but it looks like more of the same though. And at first I was pretty excited watching this trailer, and then as it went on, it just started to feel very been there, done that. And I'm interested in the Peter Miles conflict, which is clearly brewing, because when Peter wears the Venom suit or the symbiote suit, he kind of is the worst version of himself and everything. I think that'll be interesting. And this had me excited at first. And then, it just kind of dragged on, and it started to look like just another one of those kind of games that a lot of people love, but I'm kind of bored of. The kind of Sony cinematic, cutscene heavy, quick time event heavy. It feels just, the trailer makes the game feel very safe and very been there, done that. But it's Spider-Man, it's Insomniac. It's probably going to make a bucket load of ducats. So I'm in. I'm interested. I'm here to play it. I'm here for it. I'm here to love it. I see no reason I won't. But it is a little disappointing that, I don't know. You just want a little bit more, a little more pop, a little more juice, baby. It's kind of generic. And that was the show, man. I got to tell you, I think when we were chatting earlier today, when we were doing this live, someone brought up Sean Layden talking about, we talk about it from time to time on this show, talking about the lack of sustainability in AAA, and games now $200 million for a AAA game, anywhere from 160 to 250. I mean, there's more expensive ones, but that's kind of becoming the average. And, you know, you see it. You see the lack of risk taking, and you see the lack of wanting to stretch too far outside the box, not because these teams aren't talented and they can't, but because they know they have to cast a very wide net. And maybe they're just like, look, we'd love to do something really crazy creative, but come on now. You know, we get too far outside the box, we're not going to make our money back, you know, which is why I keep saying the most interesting stuff is happening in the indie space. And there were some indie games here, but overall, I think this is a show that reflects AAA games getting more conservative than we've ever seen. There being fewer of them than we've ever seen from first party. They announced today that every year we can expect 2 AAA games, which is just anemic. But again, that's what AAA console gamers seem to want, that level of polish and production, and it takes a lot of fucking time. I am also confused why we didn't see more from first party. It's bizarre that we didn't. I mean, they don't have to show us anything. Like, it's not like Xbox where they're in dire need of letting people know, hey, we're still here. It's just a lot of these teams have had, like I said, 3 years. Where are they? And, you know, somebody said earlier today to me, maybe they're saving it for Keighley's show. And at first I thought, well, that's dumb. Why would they do that? But then the more we talked about it, I was like, well, I know that the Game Awards have over 100 million live streams, people streaming that fucking thing, which is a much bigger audience than what you're getting on a PlayStation showcase, right? I don't know if Summer Game Fest comes close to that, but assuming it even sort of does, you take all those people and you take all those people who don't own a PlayStation, who are probably more prone to watch the Summer Game Fest than they are prone to watch a PlayStation showcase because they don't own a PlayStation. It does make, I mean, I don't think Sony would do it, but it does make sense that you would see factions at Keighley's show, or a reveal of Ghost of Tsushima 2 trailer, or maybe Wolverine, another teaser or whatever. I don't think we're going to see that at all, but I do think business-wise, that's an interesting thing they said. At first it seemed, no, that's dumb. But when you really sit down and think about it, I was like, yeah, it makes sense. So you never know. You never know. But I wonder what they're feeling at Sony. I wonder if they knew this was going to kind of go down. Some people loved it, that's great, but most people online I've talked to seem to be between sort of disappointed, slightly disappointed, to really annoyed. But there's a sense of sort of underwhelmingness that I think part of it is just we built ourselves up a bit, because why not? It's been 2 years. It's been 3 years for these developers. It's time. It makes sense we would build ourselves up. But at the same time, though, I also think it was just fundamentally not very compelling. So I'm not a fan of it. I don't think it was very good. I don't see the point of a show like this anymore if this is the level of stuff we're going to get from a showcase we had to wait so long for. So anyway, I'm sure you'll let me know what you think. I'm always interested. I'll comment in the comments as I always do. In the meantime, be well. Thank you for watching this, and I will see you on the next video or live stream. And that's it. See ya.